Hey everybody, welcome to BrickVault. Today is another LEGO weekly news update. I think we're going to start publishing on Mondays, in fact. Seems like a little bit more of a fun day to do this type of video where I show you guys the coolest custom creations that people happen to build throughout the week. It's all my opinion. Links to as many creations as possible are in the description below. And before I jump into the top 10 models of the week, of which of course there's way more than just top 10, the custom build that went up in our web store this week is the Master Chief Helmet, designed by Peter Carmichael, aka Pacific Brick. It is an incredibly detailed model with some very interesting and intricate techniques. If you wanted to build it for yourself, the instructions are sold at our web store at www.brickvault.toys. Any and all support is always greatly appreciated. And now let's jump into the honorable mentions before the top 10. Great little building technique for the Baby Blues by AC Pin. This is an awesome Ultra 7 by Moko. That slight angle used with the panel pieces by the nose is incredibly good. This is a Sith Starfighter by WCP Fund, and from Bob DeQuatre, this is titled Hermes. It is a mobile command center. Great use of the Technic panel wheel wells. Here's a combination of some micro ideas by Ido K. Nick Sweetman built Pirates the Musical, like that pink ship right in the center there. Not the first time I've seen this technique used for a well, but Marcin has done it quite well. And from Adnan Lotia, this is the LEGO Kit MOC version 2.2. This designer's been slowly but surely updating upon their large scale version of the kit car, and it keeps getting better and better. Big Planes built another big old plane, the Northrop XB-35 Flying Wing, and I wonder, if you were to throw this model, do you think it would come back to you? This is from T-Trooper Mission 18.3 Crisis on Kashyyyk. Detailed Star Wars vignettes are slowly becoming my new favorite kind of MOC. Don't look too closely at the heads. And from Thorsten Bonch, this is The Hobbit, An Unexpected Party. Henry Pinto built Chappie. He's smoking in this particular picture. And I was waiting for Zito Vince to do this, but he did a comparison with his Iron Man helmet and the LEGO set. You tell me which angles look better. I know for certain that I like the custom one just a bit more. Here's another room from Jonas Cram. I miss the foosball days for sure. And from Jason Mark Wells, we have LEGO Fantasy Fig Barf. Just a cool custom looking figure with nice pieces used. From First Generation Space Police, we have the B-Rex. Awesome color recombo. And from Frantisek, we have a micro-ish version of the Jaguar E-Type. Very smooth micro model. From Jan Slavinger, this is the Blessed Stegodon. Awesome combination of dinosaurs, Chima, and Ninjago pieces. It's a great shape for a cockpit here from Ian McDonald. Chung Po Cheng built the LEGO upscaled minifigure accessories / weapons. Not the first time I've seen models like this built, but some of my favorite for sure. Here's a motorcycle by Joffrey Brick. JapZap titled this one Forgotten Glory. More competing white flowery thing parts are being used. And from Legos, this is Home Foundation Habitat Tent. Lots of details once you get to look a little closer. Here's a work in progress from Kale Frost, probably one of the more expressive Mario faces I've ever seen. And from General Ditka, this is Painsaw. Not chainsaw, but Painsaw. Cole Blaq titled this I See You. You'll see him in the top 10 with more pieces from the Dots line. LGP built the Doom 2016 Heavy Assault Rifle. And from Malin Garrick, this is Dark Times Target 6 Secrets of Wild Space. Once again, an awesomely detailed Star Wars vignette. Now it's time to jump into the top 10 MOCs of the week. The first one is 3 different models from Grant Davis. He's just got such interesting uses over and over and over for that white flowery piece. This is the Gingerbread house. You can see that part has been used for the roof. I also really love that he used the eggs for the outline of the door, some rubber band pieces, and then this one is titled Candlelight. Yes, even the net pieces there are officially LEGO pieces, so this is 100% LEGO, the table, the flower, and the candle. You can see that flower's been used for melting wax at the base of it. Still part of number 1 from Grant Davis. This is titled Taking the Plunge. Love those little white streaks in the waterfall, and guess what's used to make up up the whitewater at the base. Now moving on to number 2 from Valerius Maximus. This is titled Finding the Jungle Shrine. I love that he's used some old classic LEGO figures, and the colors for the most part are pretty classic too, with mostly base green and a little bit of bright accents here to add to the detail. There's just enough advanced techniques used in here to make this whole area feel very alive. I love the archway that comes across the front of the cave, and there's also a lot of wildlife. The chameleons on the side are just a nice touch. Now moving on to number 8 from Blaq. The title here is Submerging, and you see submerging with dots, the new elements. The giant sharp row of teeth for this fish is great. We have something that looks sort of similar to a manta ray, and the wings from that watch make it up there. And it's pretty self-explanatory which dot pieces were used to make the octopus slash squid, I think. I think that's a squid. I'm sure we'll be seeing many more interesting uses of these parts in custom builds in the future. This is the first great example that I personally have seen. And then from Librarian-Bot, we have one of the more ambitious spaceship designs of the year, I would say. This is called the Raging Comet. And by ambitious, I mean it's so big and so intricate and so insanely top-heavy that you just have to have some guts to even attempt putting something like this together. Fortunately, it looks like he's made this thing strong enough where you can lean it on its side, so the whole thing isn't just falling apart if it falls to one side, even though it might actually have some parts maybe breaking off if it was to have a bit of a tip over. But because it is built in this interesting shape, it kind of just has a more authentic sci-fi feel to it. Also, it feels a bit Corellian or Star Wars-like, and the color highlights are noticeable, yet not overpowering. A really, really nice composition altogether. Number 6, moving down, this, I don't know if this is my favorite of the week, but it's definitely up there from Letranger Absurde. This is titled Hills Run Red. The trans clear slash trans red ghost figure piece at the bottom of this waterfall is what he says inspired this build, but also this elf-like creature has such an innocent little smile on her face for the minifig, and it just makes this whole scene feel a lot darker. Clearly a betrayal. The build details here are subtle, and it really, really tells a very simple yet extremely understandable little story. The second build from Librarian-Bot makes up number 5, moving down the list. This is the X-Men Blackbird version 2. I've always loved this ship from the show slash comic book series, and I like that the builder here really captured the big, obtuse, pointy head of the Blackbird. It always felt like it could have been maybe a weird perspective drawing when you're looking at it as a cartoon, but in reality, no, it has this really, really large head that differentiates itself from the original Blackbird quite a bit. It's captured extremely well here in LEGO bricks, and it's my personal favorite version of this plane being done in LEGO bricks so far. From Devid 7, number 4 is WGY1 and support drone WR17. It's a pretty technical name for what is actually a decently technical little build. 2 micro robots with some excellent use of little pieces, great stance, and an extremely well thought out sense of style. My favorite bit of detailing here is the different styles for building the legs of these little robots, and the color combination seems to work for them quite well. From the builder Sokolov Nikita, this is titled Decaying Hive. This is the number 3 on the list. It's a very interesting dystopian slash architecture style build. First off, the shape of the building is wonderful. It's very geometric, feels kind of cold and modern, and it also is being inhabited by what looks like a pretty dystopian look of what I'm going to assume is the future. And it's just a really well thought out scene that shows off not just an interesting world, but some incredibly solid building techniques. Really subtle things thrown in there, like those tile pieces that match up with the slopes right at the base of the building. Number 2, moving down, is Spaceman Ship 123's LEGOnaut's Reed poster. This is a decently large brick-built space astronaut suit styled to look like what the latest iteration of the next lunar spacesuit is going to look like. There's a lot of technical machinery stuff on the inside of the pack, which is supposed to be accurate to how it's supposed to look in real life, which is cool. Ultimately, it's just kind of an interesting and fun looking creation, especially from a distance. They really did manage to capture the look of this spacesuit pretty well. Now we're jumping into the last build of the week from Joe, or J&J Bricks. This is the Polymath Fresco. This is one build of 4 others, and personally Fresco is my favorite of the 4 different creations. The inlaid brick-built styling for both the walls in the back and on the floor in the center are really what grabbed me more than anything else, and it's a wonderful combination of setting a scene, building techniques, as well as just being part of an interesting creative idea. Once again, these top 10 were just my personal opinion. There's of course way more linked in the description below. I'd love to hear what you guys think about these models. Check out the web store if you have not yet already. Thank you so much for watching and sticking around to the end, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.